So, Mr. Levy, it looks as though that there was about 400 students that were in debt for their lunch, and we're looking at the possibility of not being able to eat lunch at all. So how did you find out about this particular situation and stepping up to actually pretty much make the payment on their behalf?
Well, I am a local real estate agent down here in Jupiter, Florida. And in order to keep my finger on the pulse of the community so I can kind of, understand what's going on, on a different level, I joined some of the local Facebook pages. So, to keep in touch with the communities. And what I did was, back in August, I had come across a post saying that there was, at the time, I think it was about $820 worth of lunch debt, and that there was a fear, and that there was, these mothers were saying, some of these children are going to start the school year either not eating or eating, in some cases, just the cheese sandwich. And I thought, that is horrible. I mean, could you imagine starting the school year already in debt and incurring, the shame and the embarrassment that goes along with it?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I thought to myself, I can afford that. I had a very good year in real estate this year, and 90% of the properties that I sold were in Jupiter. So I really wanted to reach out and do something for the community. So I just found out exactly where the food services division was for Palm Beach County. I asked them to pull up the debt for all 9 Jupiter schools. And I just took my checkbook out and wrote them a check. And I also wanted to know how it accrues, how the debt accrues. What does that mean? Does it literally mean no food? In some circumstances, it's a cheese sandwich. I later learned that many families qualify for free hot lunch, but they haven't filled out the applications to do so. So there's a whole system that's a little broken, and I decided I was going to do something about it. So I did.
That's interesting. That is interesting. So, where's the outpouring been like since you've stepped up to the plate to actually help these families out with their debt?
Well, what I found out was since I did this, the donations for all of Palm Beach County have quadrupled. So there's a ripple effect that's happening, which is really tremendous. I've raised about $2,000 that will wipe out, that should handle all the debt for the Jupiter school system where I live and where I serve, probably for the rest of the school year. And, if I'm able to do it, I might take this statewide and make this an issue that needs to be dealt with because, children shouldn't have to learn hungry. And they shouldn't have to have the pressure and or the embarrassment and the shame if they're in lunch debt.
Absolutely.
It's true. Very true.
Awesome, Mr. Levy. That was going to be my question to you, is that do you think about starting some type of a nonprofit or some type of a foundation that this could be addressed not only in the state of Florida but across the many states that we have, because this is a problem that quite a few of our children are facing in families.
You are correct, and that's already in the works. So I'll be, I would say within the next few weeks, I'll be starting a 501c3 nonprofit organization so I can receive larger grants. And I'm meeting with philanthropists and very wealthy donors over the next few months. And, I'm going to take this nationwide because, it's obviously not a big enough national topic, and it should be.
Absolutely, I agree.
And wasn't even a shadow of a doubt in my mind. As soon as I saw that number in August, and I figured that's all it's going to take. I was like, it's just going to take. At that time, it was just over 800. I thought to myself, well, God, if that's what it is, I mean, I'm going to do it right away. But, of course, my work got very busy and life got in the way. So I finally got around to it 2 weeks ago. And within hours, the story went viral. It's gone as far as Vietnam. Someone sent me a cover page. Someone emailed actually to one of the other people on the Facebook page. Someone sent the cover of like the New York Times for Vietnam, and there was the story. I mean,
wow, so
that's
it's international.
crazy.
That is awesome.
I mean, I've been getting messages, hundreds of messages, hundreds, if not maybe, I mean, between messages, comments, and phone calls, over 1,000 people have contacted me from all over the globe. And then what's wonderful is I'm getting calls from mothers and fathers who live in small-town America, and, from Alabama, from the Carolinas, from Dallas, actually a sweet old lady from, I think it was Fort Worth, Texas, has a podcast called Heroes and Zeros. I think that's what it's called, because she said it that way. I'm not quite exactly sure, but it was Heroes for males and Heroes for women that are heroes. So I thought that was such a great title. But you know what? I want to be able to touch as many people as I can with this deed. And hopefully it will set off a chain reaction, which I think is happening. And I just want to do as much as I can.
I'm going to go out on the limb. The way that you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and predict within the next 5 years we can see a possible political run for you. Now, what would you now, would you be interested in doing that?
I mean, you know something? To be honest with you, I have been, I've been thinking about what it would mean to get in front of Congress with this issue. And who knows where that's going to go? I mean, I think I've got the focus and the concentration, to be a politician. And if that is something that presents itself in the future, I would analyze it at the time.
All right, understood. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
No, I answered mine. I'm very pleased that it's already in the works because of the way that it took off, the way that it just spread, the way that, like you said, it was just an influential act that more people said, hey, thank you. More people said, hey, how can I help? That's what we need. And if you do run, you definitely have the notoriety and the support. So.
Well, it's. I just want to tell you two little stories because this was the most. These were the most. When I say unbelievable, I mean like I was stunned. I went to Tulane University in New Orleans, and just recently I became, a little bit more involved with the alumni of the University of Tulane. And we have networking lunches, here in Florida. And I went to at the last networking lunch, which was last Wednesday, when I walked in, and the head of the networking events, announced that it was me, that everyone was applauding, and she put a hat out. And by the end of the networking session, the hat was overflowing with cash. And then, which was tremendous. And then, to make it even a crazier local story here in Jupiter, because that was in Boca Raton, which is in southern, Florida. So in Jupiter, in the community that I've been serving, that I'm doing this for, my local community, I was invited on Saturday night to a comedy show, And they, during intermission, sometimes they talk about, certain causes for the community and certain important things in the community. And they did the same thing. They asked me to come up and talk, and without my knowledge, they decided to, take a hat, put it out, and, for anyone who wanted to donate. And before I knew it, when it was over, the hat was overflowing with cash. That was about $300. My networking event was about $200. So with my GoFundMe page, which has raised just over $1,300, I've got over $2,000, which will take care of and handle all the lunch debt for the Jupiter school system for the rest of the year. So I've achieved my mission locally. Now I want to try to achieve it statewide and or nationally.
Well, this has been certainly an inspirational conversation with you today, Mr. Levy, and we appreciate you taking out the time to discuss it with us. Look forward, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of the rest of At the Round Table. We look forward to see the conclusion to this and bigger things for you as well.
Well, I appreciate it very much.